Welcome to Looking for Geeks. Here's a look back at the last month or so in wrestling. A little behind. First, I'll start with one of our local wrestling leagues, Defy. We recently had the Dragon Spirit event, which saw the 20-year anniversary of Tajiri versus Super Crazy, as well as having Ultimo Dragon. Kicking off the show, we had Defy newcomer Jackson Stone taking on local favorite Shaft. Predictably, Shaft came out on top on that one. After this, we had a tag match for the Defy tag titles, featuring the champions, the 1%, against Uprising. Uprising are a pair of up-and-coming stars, and this was a great showing from them, very athletic. Of course, the champs did retain, unfortunately, but I think next time it may be a little closer. Next up, we had a 6-man tag match featuring Randy Myers, Sonico, and Cody Chun against The Pride and Big Jack. This is a great match. All the guys got to do their signature spots and had some great high flying as well as some great mat work, and Big Jack healing it up really hard. Now about that Tajiri versus Super Crazy match, these guys really know how to work together. I mean, they've been wrestling each other for 20 years now, and it shows. They just both know each other's styles so well. Even 20 years in, they can still go. Unfortunately, we didn't see all of their signature spots, but, 20 years later, I can totally understand that. And we did see a great finish, though, with Tajiri hitting the mist out of a hip drop, which was pretty impressive. Then we have Shane Swerve Strickland against Darby Allin. I had not previously seen Darby Allin work before. I think this may have been his first Defy match. Regardless, this was just brutal. This was no holds barred, chairs flying. This got ugly in a really good way. Darby had just this vicious streak through the entire match that did have him come out on top, and unfortunately it was also Swerve's last match with Defy. We'll miss you. Next we had Ultimo Dragon versus Matt Cross. This was the 20-something time these guys have gone at it, and man, can they go. These two were just phenomenal athletes. This match kept the audience on the edge of their seat the entire time. In the end, Ultimo Dragon did pick up the win, but Matt Cross put on an amazing, impressive performance. For the world title, we had the current champion, Artemis Spencer, up against Ethan HD from the American Guns. Now, I've seen the American Guns do their tag thing before, and they're a great team, but I'd never seen Ethan on his own. And needless to say, he impressed. Now, his partner did get involved once or twice, but it only added to the match, and the drama of it was great. Artie, being the ring technician, though, did pull out a win to retain the championship. Over in AEW, we have an official date for their second show, Fight for the Fallen. This will be taking place on July 13th in Jacksonville, and proceeds will be going partially to help victims of gun violence. We also got some news on the over-budget Battle Royal that will be going on at Double or Nothing. The current competitors list includes Kip Sabian, Sonny Kiss, Brandon Cutler, and Ace Romero. Now, Ace Romero, you may have seen online that famous pounce where his opponent went flying out of the ring.
Kane signaling for it here. Both men go to the corner, and the pounce to the outside!
So already this is shaping up to be interesting at the very least. On Being the Elite, they did announce another signing, a Michael Nakazawa. I don't know either. All kidding aside, it looks like he'll be coming in to help with training for new recruits. Over in WWE, I actually did take the time to watch Fastlane. The build-up was actually pretty solid for once. Fastlane's usually kind of a throwaway show, but it was pretty good. The real giveaway on this was that Miz was being way more aggressive than usual. And that reverberated around the entire card. Everybody felt like they were really amping up their efforts. Now going in, I did expect Charlotte versus Lynch to main event, but that came before the main event, which was the Shield versus the Mid-Card of Doom. It would become obvious why by the end of the match when it was just a total screw job. With this whole overbooked thing between Charlotte, Rousey, and Lynch, the story overall is not bad. It's just they've done a lot to get it to this point, and a lot of it just seems needless. That said, the main event was the Shield versus Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre, a team that doesn't seem to have any reason to exist except to lose to the Shield. But they keep doing it, and it looks good, and it was fun, and the Shield got all their signature spots, and it was a fun match. It was a great way to send the audience home happy. This leads me to one of the rumors going around with the whole Dean Ambrose leaving. Now, they did officially announce that he's leaving, but they keep talking about it, and that's really unusual for WWE to do. So that leads to the whole rumor of, is he really leaving, or is this just another storyline? Was he leaving and now he's not? I don't feel comfortable saying one way or the other what I think, because I don't know. They've been working the reality angle really hard lately. If you go online and look at the back and forth between Becky, Charlotte, and Rousey, it's been weird. They're really trying to push the outside of the ring reality and blur it with what's going on in the ring, which is not a bad thought. It just sometimes comes off as very forced. But I appreciate the effort, and it's at least interesting. I know coming out of Fastlane, a lot of people were upset that Kofi didn't get to be in that world title match, but Kofi was not getting a push before, and now suddenly he's one of the biggest stars in the company. Everyone wants to see him win. But if they give that away, no one's going to care anymore. So I totally understand where they're going with this story. Really make people want that win at WrestleMania. And I really hope we get it at this point, because they've really pushed him to the fans. And the fans have really latched onto that. And they really want to see that win. Kofi's worked his ass off for years, and it just feels like he's underappreciated. Overall, Raw is still a bit of a slog. It's improving. It's a very slow process, but things are slowly turning around. Or I'm appreciating it more just because I'm not worrying about it so much. Either way, I'm enjoying it. I wait until it's DVR'd so I can fast forward through the replay segments, because, man, I swear it's like half an hour of replay, maybe 2 hours of show, and then commercials, of course. SmackDown, on the other hand, has been very consistent, very watchable week in and week out. The only complaint I have on SmackDown is that the women's title seems very secondary. Asuka has no legitimate competitors going into WrestleMania, and Mandy and Sonya just don't seem like legitimate competitors, and honestly, I couldn't even remember Sonya's name. So that tells you how much she's really over right now. They just haven't done enough to build up either one of them, and the rest of the division seems completely MIA in the title picture. Now, they have had all those NXT call-ups recently. They're the ones announced back in January, and then the surprise ones about a month ago. And largely, none of them have done anything, except really for Black and Ricochet. And they're being put in a tag team, which kind of feels like a waste for both of them. They're both such strong singles competitors that putting them in the tag division, where they haven't really done much to build it up at this point, just feels like a waste of time. The other NXT call-ups just really haven't gone anywhere, and unfortunately, it's also looking like Ciampa is going to be out for months after he had neck surgery. Hopefully after WrestleMania, this will all calm down, and those NXT call-ups will get a real chance to shine. So we've got about 3 weeks until WrestleMania, and things are getting interesting. The whole card is definitely not set in stone yet, and things could definitely change. I'm interested to see what they do. Regardless, I always watch WrestleMania, even if I'm not watching weekly TV, because it's WrestleMania. There's always something interesting that happens, and it's the big culmination of the entire year, so you can kind of get a feel for where things have been and where they're going to go. My hopes are up, not incredibly high, but, you know, they've been doing better. And I think they can really take this somewhere. If we see that Kofi win, and maybe we could even see the New Day get the tag titles, I would love to see the New Day be the dominant team for a while. That would be great. Having all three of them have a title would be amazing. That's it for this edition of Last Month in Wrestling. We'll see you next time. For the world title.
The
world? The world.
The world.